London! My name is Chelsea and I've lived here for over a decade and I've basically explored every corner of the city. So I'm going to let you in on my best 3 things to do here. First up, another way to see Tower Bridge. You might recognise this landmark. It's Tower Bridge, not London Bridge by the way, and we love it. You'll know it because it's famous for splitting in 2 to allow big merchant ships to pass further down the Thames. Although nowadays it's mainly tall tourist boats that pass through. Did you know that the Tower Bridge posts its bridge lift schedule on its website? You can check it out online and see if you can time a bridge lift for when your trip is. The website will even tell you which boat is passing under the bridge and in what direction. In my opinion, the best place to watch it is here on the southwest bank, next to this building, which is London's old City Hall, although it does get crowded in the summer. If you're looking for a less busy spot, the northeastern bank is great, just outside the Tower Hotel. It'll be a great view, but with less people. Take yourself on a walking tour around the city. We don't really recommend those free walking tours, but this is a really cool hack and a unique way to see those parts of the city you'd otherwise miss. A couple we recommend. The Flash Invader app. It's a great little app where you scan and collect street art on your phone. It doesn't give you a tour of where to find them, but if you Google it, there's a couple of routes from helpful players to sort you out. Next up, the Blue Plaques Tour. You might have seen or heard of these. They're signs on the walls of buildings managed by English Heritage, and they tell you of famous or important people that have lived or worked here. It's the oldest scheme of its kind. It started in 1866 and there's over 1,000. You can also take yourself on an art tour of London to places like this, Leek Street Arches in Waterloo, where you can watch the graffiti artists at work. Shoreditch is also a great place for this. Whilst we get our steps in, we couldn't talk about London and not talk about all our green parks and spaces. London has around 3,000 parks, including 8 royal parks and canal-side walks. These parks are a gorgeous reminder of London's history, as green spaces were a priority for leaders throughout the city's history. We also love Hampstead Heath, which is in North London, but my personal favourite has to be Richmond Park. It's southwest London and it's the perfect place for a picnic with your pals, especially in the summer because you can make a day of it. You're also not that far from long stretches of the Thames and Kew Gardens. If you want something more central, a lot of our parks are located right in the middle of the city. You could do 3 or 4 of them in a day. And while we're talking about walks, I can't not talk about the canal-side walks. You can literally walk from Paddington in the west to Victoria Park in the east and see some of the most gorgeous spots in London. I'm talking Maida Vale, Camden, King's Cross and Hackney. It's truly impossible to talk about free things in London without talking about the amazing perk of this city, free entry to national galleries and museums. Basically, back in 2001, the British government scrapped entrance fees to flagship galleries and museums. This was to allow more access to the culture and the arts in the UK. And great news, if you're a visitor, you also get free access to galleries and museums. But bear in mind, not all galleries and museums are free. You still have to pay for the London Transport Museum, for example. But generally speaking, if it's a big museum or gallery, you can get in for free. You could literally spend your entire trip doing museums and galleries alone, so it's best to pick the ones that stand out to you. It's also a great accessible activity to do here in London, especially if it's raining. There's a whole street of galleries and museums in Kensington alone, and they're connected by a tunnel. Personally, I love the Tate. There's always so many fun pop-up exhibitions, and it's just a great building to wander around. We are so lucky to have so many music schools and establishments in London, and some of them do free lunchtime concerts which the public can access. London Symphony Orchestra do a free concert at a church in Farringdon featuring Guildhall School orchestral artistry musicians. Even the Royal Opera House does one. These feature their performers and occasional guests, and there might even be some ballet. The free concerts usually last around 45 minutes, so it's the perfect addition to your itinerary. Speaking of free, visiting a new city for the first time can be super overwhelming. So we've created a free guide to help you learn everything you need to know as a first-time visitor when visiting London. You will learn how to get to your hotel from the airport, how to get and spend currency, what you need to use London's public transport system, and most importantly, how to prepare for British weather. This guide is designed to take all of the stress out of visiting a new city for the first time, and it's completely free. So click the link in the description to find out more information on how to access. Right, back to the video. If you like history, we recommend visiting some of our historic houses whilst you're in town. These houses were generally owned by British aristocracy, and their stories give an interesting perspective on London throughout different points of history. There are some great houses, like Kenwood House, which is in Hampstead Heath, another one of our favourites for a free day out. It was originally built in the 17th century, but it was redesigned over and over again for whichever Earl lived there. The Wallace Collection is also a great place to visit. They also display art collected by Richard Wallace himself throughout his life. The art is displayed here in Richard Wallace's prime London residence, Hertford House. They also do a great afternoon tea. London is famous for being a green city, and we have a really cool selection of urban gardens with great views of London. You've probably heard us talk about the Sky Garden a lot. It's great, we love it. It's a garden located at the top of the walkie-talkie building with great views of the city, but it gets booked up and is super busy. They do have slots you can book on the day for free, but we'd recommend booking in advance if you want free access. Another option is the garden at 120. It is a garden with great views of the City of London. It has lovely plants and is the perfect spot for a break from a busy itinerary. Our final option doesn't have any views, but it's a Love and London favourite. It is the Barbican Conservatory. It's an unlikely but wonderful oasis in the Brutalist Barbican Centre, right in the centre of London. It has over 2,000 species of trees and plants, and you can definitely couple this with a trip to the Barbican Centre and check out the Curve Gallery while you're there. It's free as well. This is a great tip for people that want to see backstage at one of London's coolest theatres without the price tag that comes with it. You might know that the National Theatre does its own backstage tour, which costs around £15 a person. So although that's an option, if you don't want to pay, this is the hack for you. The National Theatre also opens up its Shirling backstage walkways 1 hour before curtain up on show days. There you can see props, the set design warehouse, the set design painting and more. It's a great way to see their busy production workshop and learn a bit more about how the plays are made. London has a bunch of free comedy that you can watch on any day of the week. It's the perfect evening activity after a day of sightseeing, although you'll want to check the times because the free shows won't be at peak times. Top Secret Comedy Club in Covent Garden do a ton of free comedy, improv sessions and a lot more for less than a £5. You can check the timings on their website. We also love Angel Comedy in Islington. This is a Londoner's favourite because they have free comedy and improv every night of the week. And it's located upstairs at the Camden Head pub. The free shows feature new performers, and sometimes well-known ones trying out new material, so you might get lucky and see a celeb comedian for free. They have 3 venues now, some of which do charge for shows, so make sure you check the website to see when the free ones are on. Fair warning, it is popular, and the room isn't that big, so turn up early so you don't miss out. One final evening activity, we love the Photographer's Gallery. It displays a ton of cool photography from up-and-coming artists to those that are established. Usually this gallery does charge admission to their exhibitions, but once you pay this, it gets you into every exhibition they have running. However, if you go on a Friday after 5 p.m, you can get in absolutely free. You can grab a drink from the bar, you do have to pay for that though, and go and have a look around their bookshops and their print shops and the exhibitions as you please. Did we mention your favourite free London activity? Then let us know in the comments below what you love to do. And if you want more information, we have literally hundreds of videos, which you can watch by clicking one of the boxes around me.